Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? You can? Are you wide awake? Actually, I'm so very happy to have all of you here, some very familiar faces, friends, colleagues, co-strugglers for rights. And it's especially pleasant to have you here on the 15th anniversary of Beijing, which actually is coincides with the conceptualization of WLP, which actually began in Beijing, and the 10th anniversary of WLP. Maybe you want to sort of whisper or shout, happy birthday? Actually, the idea of WLP sort of took shape in Beijing, and some of the principles on which it was based are, in essence, inspired by the platform. We realized in Beijing, just briefly, that we need to work for the kind of world that we want using a few generally accepted principles. One, that it's better to work in partnership than to work alone. Two, that in order to change things, you need to have the power to change things. Three, that the things that we have to change have a lot to do with the ways that we have been used to doing things, to traditions, to accepting certain general patterns of behavior, some of which have had to do with our cultures. And by that, we understood that culture is not something that is specific to the global South, and certainly it's not something that's specific to the Muslim majority world. Culture exists in the West as well, so change has to be across the board in all cultures, from a behavior that is authoritarian, interrelationships that are domineering, to relationships that are democratic, respect-based, responsive to the needs of the people who have to live with the decisions. And so a sort of leadership that embodies that became the kind of work we do. And also a belief, a deep belief in the universal human rights for everybody, but then implemented contextually according to the priorities set by the people themselves in each community, and priorities in the ways to implement these rights. And that's why, for instance, we actually carry out our leadership learning workshops and skills building gatherings in 20 different languages across the world, across 5 continents. So that's what we've been doing in the last 10 years. And today is a great day for us because we're going to be looking at 15 years behind us since Beijing, a platform that really embodies most of what any of us would want for ourselves, sets a foundation for our work, networks that have been created and expanded enormously since Beijing, partly through the consecutive UN conferences and partly through technology, which brings us together so closely, so instantaneously. So we want to look and see where we are. We want to sort of look back a little where we've been. We want to see where we are going, and with a clear and precise and unclouded 2020 vision to look to 10 years from now and see where exactly it is that we want to go and how are we going to get there. And to do this, we have some of the best minds, and not just minds, hearts of the women's movement here today. And they're not only people who are going to be addressing you, the very distinguished and extraordinary women who are going to be addressing the group here, but also within the group, the minds and hearts who are going to hopefully respond and engage in dialogue. So no better place than this, and no better time than now to review our past, and plan for our future.